free to send us all your messages because we're going to be answering all the questions online. Hello, Elisa. How are you doing? Now we are connected in all our platforms.
Hi, Carla. Yes, we are. We are indeed connected in all our platforms. And as you know, okay, I'm not sure if okay, here we are. I accidentally I closed my main screen where our video camera is. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, today it's a time for questions. For questions and answers, I'm going to be shooting questions to Carla as fast as I can. So she's going to be answering some of the questions, generic questions. Many people who are first-time home buyers have heard the terms, or they too shy to ask exactly what it is or how can they affect them, certain situations. So we're going to be asking these questions to Carla right now, and let's get it started. I'm really excited because most of these questions are related to that, to mortgages. That's your most important plan that you need to do when you're purchasing your first home. The part of mortgages, the part of your financial planning is the most important one. It's not browsing homes in the internet and and dreaming about it. Yes, that's beautiful, and I love that part because I am involved very heavily in that area because I'm gonna be with you in person looking at all those beautiful homes. But there's no point of taking a look into any of those if we do not know exactly what we can afford. And Carla is here to help us with that. And she's going to do your pre-qualification, pre-approval, and finally the approval so you can own your dream home. And yeah, let's shoot it. So I have here several questions for you. Okay, so tell us what type of mortgages are there available for me?
Okay, so there are few types of mortgages out there. There is the high ratio mortgage, which is the one that you can put less than 20% when you are buying. The number two is the conventional mortgage, which is the one that literally you have to put more than 20%. And the good part about that one is that we are able to amortize over 30 years instead of 25 years, for example, with the high ratio mortgage. There are other types of mortgages, such as the private mortgages as well. So the private mortgages are definitely, I don't suggest them unless you really have to do the private mortgage for a short period of time. But definitely give me a call because if you want to learn more about what type of mortgage is good for you, we need to assess the whole situation to make sure that it fits your lifestyle, your unique situation, most importantly, financial situation.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. And the next question is, what is the current mortgage interest rate? What is the interest now? Because so many people call me or ask me, and they're so confused because now the Bank of Canada said this, but then when I call a bank, they tell me another number. What is this base? And then you put more points on it. What is it today? What is the mortgage interest
going
rate?
on with the rate? Okay.
Yeah, if you're a first-time
so
home
glad
buyer,
that you explain this part because yeah, absolutely. Everybody's so confused about what's going on, right? They are like, oh yeah, the rates just went down by 25%, to 0.25%. So there are two types of rates: the variable rate and the fixed rates. Variable rates are the ones that are linked to the Bank of Canada announcement. Okay, so every time that the Bank of Canada says we have an announcement, they either increase it, they hold the rate, or they decrease it. Okay, At this particular time, we are at a 4.5% for the Canada rate, okay? That rate is the one that dictates at what amount they are going to be lending money to the banks or financial institutions, okay? And then the financial institutions and banks have what we call the prime rate, which is the one that each lender has, but is linked to the announcements. I want to make sure that you know this part, because banks and financial institutions do not have to follow necessarily the Bank of Canada. One financial institution can say, oh, good for you, Bank of Canada, that you are decreasing or increasing your rates, but I'm not gonna do anything with my rate. The likelihood of them saying that is very, very bizarre or weird, because obviously they need to follow the trend of everybody. If they don't follow, they could lose some of the credibility to the public. So usually they follow whatever the Bank of Canada say. Okay, then let me explain you also the fixed rate. So the fixed rate, that one is linked to bonds. So bonds are the ones that they actually follow are the Bank of Canada bonds. Okay, so when they are higher, the interest rates go higher. When they drop the bond rate, then the interest rates for the fixed rates drop. Okay, so at this particular moment, because there is so much uncertainty, specifically in the United States, they actually have dropped significantly. So in one side, we have the variable rate. In the other side, we have the fixed rate. The fixed rate actually have dropped significantly over the last, I will say, more than 6 months. I will say now maybe 8 months. It was like almost at 7%, and it dropped drastically to approximately 4.79%. Just so you see the real drop between the rate for the fixed rate. Okay, the Bank of Canada one is the one that dropped by 0.5%, but this is the but, when you are negotiating your rate for the variable rate, you are not negotiating the prime rate. You are negotiating the discount of the prime for you to be able to have a specific rate. Okay, so it's a little bit confusing, but don't worry, you can always contact me and I can explain you in detail based on your particular situation. Okay, because as we discussed earlier, there are certain types of mortgages that perhaps you don't know, and each one of the types of mortgages have different types of rates. So it's a little confusing, but don't worry, let me explain you based on your particular situation.
Yes, thank you so much for that thorough explanation, because that is very important thing to take into consideration. Now everybody's watching, oh, I need to know what's going to happen next month. Most likely, if you're going to take a fixed rate, it's not going to affect you as much as if you had a variable rate. Some people have locked variable rates. Some people have taken secured line of credits, and then that also is affected by the variable rates. So yeah, there's many situations. So now people kind of getting the understanding. And why to bonds? Because as you know, people in any country, when you increase or decrease your debt, that is going to affect the overall economy. So what is the difference? A bond actually it's a market where investors go to buy and sell debt securities issued either by corporations or government, whether stocks are a deal in the equity security. So you have debt security and equity securities, right? So that's the basic difference. And I love that we're talking about this, Carla, because many people do not realize how in depth, how deeply this is. This is not something that comes randomly. It comes from very different things, right? One thing leads to the other, and as far as you know, we're in a global market, right? It doesn't
Exactly.
depend on things that happen solely in Canada. I also like this topic a lot. Anyway,
I know,
anywho,
I know. Elisa and I can go for hours talking about these things, but we're not gonna go for hours. Don't worry. We're gonna go back to the questions.
yes, yeah, we kind of, yeah, we derailed a lot. Now another question here that is I hear a lot is what is mortgage insurance and do I need it?
Mortgage insurance, and do you need it? The answer is in the question.
Yeah, like
No. Okay,
CMHC,
so if
insurance.
if
Uh-huh.
if you are buying with less than 20%, the answer is yes. But I'm gonna put brackets here because there are sometimes when the property is too risky for the bank, meaning I'm gonna put here an example of a condo. Right now they are doing these micro condos, and they actually, to the bank, they say that is more risk because they don't know how fast can they sell it. It's like the risk that they are assessing. So if they think that is too small, sometimes they ask the client to purchase this unit but with CMHC, meaning that they have to include um, the insurance. So I'm not gonna complicate it stuff. If you put less than 20%, only if the bank wants to more assurance in the property, sometimes they can ask for that insurance.
Yes, thank you for explaining all that so broadly. And guys, as you know, this CMHC, or the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation, this mortgage insurance is not something that you will pay in full once you take possession of your home. It is something that will be locked in the amortization period in the purchase of your home. So it's going to take a lot of years. So don't worry about that. And all those calculations are going to be given to you within your pre-qualification or pre-assessment. So you know exactly what your expenses are going to be in the future. Carla and my job is not only that. It's not telling you, okay, this is the house you can afford. This is the maximum price you can get. There are other many variables that you need to consider so you can really make a path for you. Exactly, you know where you're going, and you don't bump yourself against the walls when you suddenly are short, or you didn't know part of the financial obligations you may incur into when the time comes. And I see Carla right now, it's like very serious. So I'm gonna
No,
shoot you with
I'm
another question.
putting here
Because
my information. I'm so sorry, guys.
yes,
So if
yeah.
you have
Put
any
it on
question,
Calendly.
that's why.
Guys, we have Carla is putting right now her link, her Calendly link, so you can, book yourself a discovery call and start the conversation on the purchase of your first home.
I'm actually putting the link to my WhatsApp in case you need to contact me faster and
Excellent.
you just need, like
Fast.
something fast. Yeah, absolutely. And then we can assess if, we can set an appointment and things like that.
Fantastic.
The reason why I'm doing this is because a client told me, you know what, I'm not ready to book an appointment. I just have a question. So please send me all your questions. I'm always happy to answer them. And then we can assess, if we need an appointment.
I think that's great. Next question. I know that especially the first-time home buyers, they start paying attention and reading, and they get again a little bit confused with the terms. The question is, what is a mortgage rate hold?
Okay, so a mortgage rate hold is when we freeze interest rate, meaning that if, let's say for instance, that right now you want to book a rate at 4.69% and the rates go up, you know that that's going to be your rate, the 4.69%. If the rates decide to go lower and they hit the 3.99%, that's totally fine. You will get the lowest rate. But the good thing about doing these holds is that at least you know that that's going to be your worst scenario. If they drop, perfect, you get the best rate. But if they go up, that's another thing. So that's why we want to make sure that when we are in the process specifically of the pre-approval, we want to know what's the worst rate that you can get. And in that way, you can assess all your finances, because a few clients tell me, obviously, like the monthly payment is not going to be the same if I get a rate of 5.5 or I get a rate of 4.69, right? So they sort of like want to know like the worst scenario as well of their monthly payment. And of course, it's going to be my job to make sure that if there is any further decreases, to make sure that you get the absolute best rate.
Yes, and guys, remember, you typically have from 90 to 120 days to lock this rate. That's what we call the rate hold. So you have plenty of time. You have up to 3-4 months to find your dream property. And by the time you have your pre-approval, which is the very first thing you must do once you start searching your home, then you will know what is your top, and you will be able to visit those properties that are absolutely within your price range. So you don't start looking for properties that are completely outside of it. And then you can just, filter everything into the right path and select those that you want to see. I don't know, some people take them 5 properties. To some people, the average would be between 10 and 15 properties. And I'm talking about first-time home buyers when they don't have the scope really well done. My second or third home buyers, they know exactly down to the T what they want. And I have had cases, we just visit the home, and that's what it is, right? Because it is different. But I understand for first-time home buyers, they need to scan the area first. Well, all these 120 days give you that opportunity without you thinking, oh my God, the rates are going to go up again, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Next question. How do I know if I should refinance my mortgage? What is this word, refinance my mortgage?
Wow. Okay. So refinancing means taking equity out of your property. So if you have purchased your home a few years ago and you think that you have some equity and you would like to purchase a second home as an investment, or you would like to start your business, or you would like to, let's say, for instance, consolidate your debt. That's one of the most common ones. Or another common one is if you want to do any renovations at home. So typically, clients will take out the equity to renovate their home or do something with those funds. So that's the difference between, for example, when you want to renew your mortgage. When you want to renew your mortgage, means that your term is up for maturity and you need to reapply for only the amount that you have at that particular time, and just renegotiate the rate. Okay, so all the terms and conditions of the loan stays the same, only the rate is the one that changes. Now, when we are doing only a renewal, sometimes actually we can get very good low rates with other institutions other than banks, because of like the portfolio, like there are ways for actually us getting like lower rates than banks. That's why we usually suggest that. And actually at this particular time, because the rates are dropping and we don't know at what point they are gonna, keep going down, it's always good to assess the whole situation before you sign your contract with any institution in general. We want to make sure that your mortgage, any type of mortgage is going to have a penalty, but some mortgages have a higher penalty, and those ones are the collateral mortgages. So we need to make sure that you are in the right type of mortgage in case the rates drop and you don't have a very high penalty to pay, in case you want to do a refinance when the rates are at their lowest point.
That's a fantastic overall explanation. I love that. And taking advantage of refinancing, guys, it doesn't mean, oh, I don't want to get more debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. The good debt is the one that is going to give you interest in the future when you make the right investment. And that's the part I love the most, because there are it's kind of a refinancing, but when you take your home equity line of credit, which is a secure line of credit on the equity of your home, you can take that loan out and purchase an investment property. When you refinance, you can take that into your next investment property. And talk to your accountant, because there are some advantages to working with this kind of good debt at the end of the year when you have to do your taxes. As you know, in this country and many other countries, death are free from taxes, right? All that is returned and is accumulated year by year. So even though on paper you are not having that much liquidity, then in the real life you are having that. So anyway, that's another entire topic I love a lot, but that would be a conversation for another time. But for now, know if you need to refinance your mortgage, if you need a home equity line of credit, whatever that is, contact Carla, because she not only does like mortgages for first-time home buyers, she can do all kind of different scopes for your money and how to allocate it, provided that we're talking here about homes, what you can do about it, where to allocate it. Let's say if I have met people who tell me, oh, I'm mortgage free. I said, please do not be mortgage free. Use that equity, all that money that in fact banks you that your equity, use that money to leverage and also make more money, right? Somewhere else, of course.
100%.
So why don't you, I always tell them, why don't you do it, right? Take that advantage and use it. So what did you say, Carla? You like that communication via WhatsApp? Just send her a text, contact us, and we can, of course, review anything in more detail. And we can, with no strings attached, go into the financial part, go into also the legal and the map to see what properties, where is best to invest for you, in which areas in the GTA, what are the scopes of investing in let's say in a 1-bedroom condo or in a full house. There are advantages and disadvantages depending on what you do. But if you're a first-time home investor, which is a topic I absolutely love, please do contact us and Carla will help you to start.
100%. Thank you so much, Elisa. Always very clever on all the questions that you ask. 100%. Thank you so much. And next week we might have already the numbers or July. So stay tuned. If it's not this week, it's going to be the following one, but definitely it will literally help you out to make an assessment to see if it's a good time for you to jump in the market. But thank you so much for now. We are going to see you next week. Thank you,
Thank you
Elisa.
so much, Carla. I had a lot of fun. Bye.
I know. Thank you. Thank you. Always a pleasure seeing you.